Okay, well, I want to thank everybody for coming out today, and we're really happy to have you. And again, it's that time again, South by Southwest. I can't believe it's here again, but here we are. And some of you have been to this boot camp before, and others haven't. And really, what we're just trying to do is give you an idea of what you're in for, what you're going to see, what you're going to experience, and how to make the most of it. South by Southwest is a amazing experience. It's a beast, and you got to tame the beast. So we're lucky enough to have a great panel of South by Southwest veterans here and industry experts in a lot of different areas. And really what we're just going to do is kind of share just our tips, thoughts, advice, experiences, so you can get the most out of it. Talk some about the Australian presence that's going to be down there. And then we'll do a quick question and answer, and we should be able to get you at least on track to make the most out of your experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, of course, you know me. I'm Peter Cohen with the Australian Music Office here, and we are here to serve you and help our clients, and so you can get your best exporting opportunities, and we work closely with all of our allies around Australia and the different state governments and arts organizations. And let me just whip around the panel really quickly and a quick introduction, who you are and what you do and how many times you've been to South by Southwest. Daryl.
Hi, I'm Daryl Berg. I am the music director over at a television network called Fuel TV, which I actually think has an Australian presence. Slightly different, but we do I think what Bondi Rescue is one of your show that we've imported, and a few others. And what was the question? What do I do?
That's cool. And how many times have you been to South by Southwest?
Oh, I thought you wanted what I do. Oh, that is what I do.
You said
okay. I think this is my 10th or 11th year.
Okay.
Which makes me old.
Okay.
Daryl's really old.
I'm really old.
Okay. Keeping it moving. Casey.
By the way, we're all friends here, so this might delve into the ridiculous. So if you need us to pull back from the abyss, just let us know.
So my name's Casey, and I work at BMI. I'm a director there. And BMI is, as you guys may or may not know, is essentially like APRA here in the U.S. There's 3 organizations that do what APRA does in Australia. And I believe that this year, I think it's my 4th South by Southwest. Cool. That's it, yeah. Wow. So Daryl really is the elder statesman.
I'm the elder statesman, too.
Yeah.
You're talking very soft, by the way. It's very
cool. All right, Rico.
I'm Rico Shabai. I do A&R for American Recordings. This is, I think, my 7th South by Southwest.
Great. And I would say this is my 11th. I'm going to say I missed a year or 2 in there, but so collectively we've been going a long time, and we've seen a lot and done a lot. So really, as far as Australian music goes, this year is our biggest to date. We have 50 bands coming so far, and almost 250 reps going. So it's grown every year, and that's really just a testament to the quality and the reputation and the professionalism and the reputation of Australian music has grown, and so much great music has made an impact at South by Southwest that these guys can speak to that. It's really almost a brand now, so that's a great thing to be a part of. And Sounds Australia, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, is our umbrella group made up of all the different arts organizations and music organizations, and we work closely with them, and you will be hearing a lot about them down there and from us. And basically, we have a trade booth at the convention center, which has information that you can access. We have a networking event that you'll be hearing a lot about. This is mainly for managers and labels. We have a Whole Food stage that many of you might be involved in or know about. There's going to be the Aussie barbecue at Maggie May's, and many other Australian-themed focused events that you're going to be aware of, and to know that you're not alone down there and you have company with you. So it's going to be very Australian themed and focused, and you might want to be stay close to that, or you might want to branch out. But just so you know, Your brothers and sisters are going to be there. But looking forward, South by Southwest. It's crazy. It's big. There's thousands and thousands of bands. There's millions of events. There's parties. There's showcases. There's events. There are panels. There's so much to do. There's not as much time as you think you have. And I'm just going to kick it around the panel. Really, what do you think? Let me start with you, Daryl. What can a band or an artist do to really get as much visibility as they can at South by Southwest through all of that clutter?
I just answered that question about licensing. How do you break through all the clutter? And unfortunately, I don't know that I had an answer to that. To break through all the clutter at this, if you go to the South by South, I would target who your audience is. So if you're looking for music supervisors or you're looking for booking agents or whatever, I think a lot of us are registered in the South by Southwest guide. So if there are people that you think you would particularly appeal to, I think you can contact them in advance and say, hey, listen, come to our show, or email invites only, I think, are better. Most people don't really like picking up the phone unless they have to. Maybe that's just me.
I don't think you even get the phone information. If you're a registered South by Southwest registrant or band, you have access to the online network. I think it's called My South by Southwest, and you can go in and find names of people that are going to be there, and I guess reach out to them through the network.
Yeah, and send them a link to their music, or ask them if you can email them or whatever, and any personal invite. I mean, a lot of the people you'll be able to access to, like you can get to me at music@fuel.tv and just say, hey, come check out my stuff, send me a stream, and if I like it, at least, there's so much stuff that you don't know what it sounds like in advance, and I'm kind of one of those people that unless there's something I know that I really want to check out, I tend to kind of just let other people take me where I'm going to go, and that's how I kind of discover stuff. And, I've stumbled onto some really great stuff that way. And I always try to see bands that I've never seen before, unless it's just like one of these bands like Less Savvy Fab will always melt my face or something like that I love. But yeah, I mean, reaching out and contacting people, as long as it's just a simple email or a simple contact to them saying, hey, listen, I'm playing this date. I'd love you to come out. Here's a stream for my music. I mean, that's really kind of the best way, but I would make sure you target who you're doing that to. If it's somebody who works on, singer-songwriter kind of stuff, or that's what they like, or that's the shows that they work on, or those are the bands they work with, and you're, Wolf Mother type kind of Sabbathy rock band, maybe, don't necessarily go after them. Use a laser, not a shotgun, so to speak.
Good point. Rico, so you're an A&R guy.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of, do you respond to those requests? Hey, come check out my band.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, kind of touching on what Daryl said, keeping it as short and sweet with just a link to music, like no MP3, stuff like that, if you're trying to get someone's attention. A lot of stuff is I'll put 20 bands to see in an hour sometimes, knowing I'm only going to see 4 of them maybe. But there's just an overwhelming amount of bands as everyone knows. So really what I like to see is if there's an Australian band, typically a lot of Australian bands coming to South by Southwest have some stuff going on in Australia. I want to see if like somebody hits me with an email and said, this band is all over Triple J, or they're selling out tours nationally in Australia. 1 or 2 quick little sound bites of info that sound kind of this, like the sexiest and are the most pertinent to piquing someone's interest to go, oh, there's something going on with this band. Perhaps there's a story here. I want to hear more, or I'm definitely going to put it on my schedule to try to see it.
Speaking of sexiest, what does Casey have to say about this?
I think the other thing that we should mention is playing more than once is really important. And I don't know if we're nearing the date of South by Southwest, so I think it's becoming every day that goes by becomes harder, I think, to book more shows. But bands do fall out, and there are last minute opportunities, and I think that
like at all the parties, there's all these different kinds of parties in addition to your showcase.
And so I think that playing as many times as you can is important, and I think we would say that within reason. But the truth is some bands, often the bands that are really buzzing when they go into South by end up playing probably, 5 to 10 different shows.
I forget what band it was. They played 11 shows last year.
Yeah, and the reason why that is important is because there are so many different bands and artists that are playing down there, and if you're trying to get attention from industry reps or music supervisors, they're just going to be getting pulled in so many different directions. And what I always tell bands is book a number of different shows, because if you only play one show, you're going to reach out to people and you're going to want people to come and see you, and at least half of those people aren't going to make it because they're going to be drunk, or they're going to be sick, or they're going to be at another show, or they're going to get lost, or something will happen and they just won't be there.
Set times are wrong.
Set times are wrong. So
yeah, it's pushed back by an hour. He's right. And it's not even 3 shows. It's like if you get offered a show, if you have to run over there with your gear, I mean, a lot of them usually have backlines set up or whatever,
Yeah.
but if you have to sprint across 6th Street, which is the main thoroughfare, to get to another show because it's a half hour from the last one, do it. If you're worried about your lead singer's voice, let him rest after South by Southwest. You never know who's going to be. I mean, there are like shows on patios. You think the patio is going to fall down, but it's a venue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we used to joke. Jeff Siegel was a friend of ours. We literally would be like, everything's a venue at South by Southwest, and it's true. You open the postal box, and there's a band playing inside.
Well, and they even have their.
They can't tell if they're laughing. This doesn't work.
Okay.
There are artists and bands that play at the airport in Austin as well. So it is really true. Just so that we know, and because we can see the rooms, we can see you guys. Can you raise who of you are going and performing at South by this year? Can you raise your hands? Okay, cool. So that's helpful for us to know in terms of.
So it's a mix.
Yeah.
So as far as we talked about. So how any suggestion on getting other? You get your showcase.
Yep.
And
Are they attending as industry also? So there are people here who are attending as industry.
Yes.
So it's a mix. Okay, so they should tell her about.
But as far as artists right now, and a lot of these are managers that represent the artists, or agents, or labels that represent their artists. So it's really about artists trying to get more shows, getting more opportunities. How would you go about doing that? I mean, I know you could go on the South by South website, and there's a list even now of events and parties and things that are going on. I guess you could reach out to some of them and say, "Hey, we're coming. We're available."
What I always tell bands to do is basically hit up, like here in LA, if bands may be playing at specific clubs regularly, like the Viper Room or some local clubs who tend to do showcases at South by Southwest. And so I always tell them first, the first thing they should do is they should be hitting up clubs or companies or organizations who they know are going to be hosting or they think may be hosting showcases at South by Southwest, and that's what you should be doing as well. And then I think, secondly, you should also be following up with other bands and artists that you know that may be playing at South by, just to see where they're playing, who they're playing with, and let them know that you want additional show opportunities, because they will most likely know if other bands fall out as well, and I think that can be helpful. And I think basically just sort of pursuing any potential potential lead, essentially. I mean, you need to sort of do anything and everything to play more shows and to be more involved at South by.
There is South by Southwest typically only lets you play one official show, but they do have a fairly new thing that's called the second play stage, and that takes place throughout a number of different hotels for the week, where you can actually get a second official slot, which typically they're not great stages and things like that because they're kind of makeshift, but it's a good opportunity to have a second entry on the official South by Southwest side, and I always tell everybody, just take it. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because you can't play enough.
Let me ask you, what about some of those, I guess you call them, third-party promoter companies? Mm-hmm. Like you said, Red Gorilla. I get asked about them a lot. I've heard mixed things about them. Is it a pay-to-play thing?
Sometimes, yes.
But it's also a chance to get another gig. What do you think?
It is. Red Gorilla has zero credibility. If someone tells me that they're playing the Red Gorilla stage, I almost immediately dismiss it.
It means they didn't get it South by. It means that they're almost not good enough to get South by Southwest.
And it means they're probably going to send me some really crappy Sonic Vids press kit, and you're going to show up. I'm just being totally honest.
If you did not get into South by Southwest, it does not mean you're not good.
No. But we don't mean that, because there's a lot of politics involved with it. But Red Gorilla is typically... I've never shown up at a Red Gorilla event and been thrilled about anything that I've seen.
Yeah, the industry folks who you want to be exposed to may sort of see the Red Gorilla shows as sort of the stems and seeds, so to speak, of the. It
would almost be cooler to set up on the street and start doing a song somewhere than a Red Gorilla show.